Hi everyone. This week it's Precious Teruma, and we're instructed to build a mobile mikdash, a mobile home for God to dwell with us for the next 40 years in the wilderness. And one of the vessels is the Aron. That is the Ark of the Covenant. That's where we place the 10 Commandments that Moshe brought down from Har Sinai. And the Torah instructs us that it's made out of 3 boxes. The outer box and the inner box are made out of gold, and the middle box is made out of wood. You know, like those little Russian dolls, how you have one inside the other. You know, you start off with one, and there's another one, there's another one, another one. So think about the Aron that way. A larger gold box, an insert, and then another insert. And the middle insert was made out of wood. In Rabbi Drelich Pliskin's book, Love Your Neighbor, he brings down the Chizkuni, who asks a question that many ask: why is the middle one made out of wood? I mean, look, if this is so holy, the whole thing should be made out of gold, be pure. And the Chizkuni offers the following idea. He says, the Leviim who will carry the Aron, it'll lighten their burden. It won't be overly heavy and burdensome to them. Now, in truth, the Aron actually carried those that carried it. So it's a little bit of an illusion. But I think the message might be clear, and there could be a few messages. Number one, when it comes to Torah and observance of Torah, we shouldn't see it as a burden, but see it as something that is a privilege. 2, it also can mean that when necessary, when we're fulfilling the Torah, we don't have to make it overly hard on people. But if there's an easy way to do something, then we should do it the easier way, the way that's less burdensome. Not to compromise on halacha, but just to say that, hey, there's one way to do it, and there's another way to do it. And if I can accomplish the same thing and do it in an easier way, well, I think that's another message that the Chizkuni is offering. And I think about lightening people's loads all the time. And what I mean by that is that at the end of the day, I teach many classes the last period of the day, and I think about the cleaning lady who has to come through the school and straighten out all the desks and put everything all together. And I say, hey guys, you know what? Let's make her life a little easier. Straighten out the desks, pick up any garbage on the floor, so that when she comes in, her day will be a little bit easier. I try to erase the board, so when I leave my class, I don't have to, the other teacher has to first clean up after me. Lightening the load just a little bit. And again, there are many examples. Seeing somebody and smiling, giving them a good word, lifts their burden, makes their day a little bit more pleasant. So that's the message of the Chizkuni. I remember reading a story in a book called Tzaddik in Our Time about Aryeh Levin, who was known as the Tzaddik Yerushalayim. And he was a very humble man and very sensitive man. One day he summons the burial society, the Chevra Kedisha, to his home, and he says, I want you to pre-dig my grave. And they said, Rabbi Aryeh, is there something going on that we don't know about? And he said, no. He said, but just in the event that I pass away before Shabbat, the terrain in Yerushalayim is very rocky, and I don't want to cause an extra burden on the grave diggers. So please pre-dig. So just in case, in the event that I pass away on Erev Shabbat. And sure enough, they did. And a little time later, Rabbi Aryeh returned his soul on a Friday.